What's up, everyone? It's Professor Gnome here, and I'm really excited to bring you guys Roaring Moon EX. It's day one of the Paradox Rift meta and the release of the expansion, and I'm really excited to get into it. Roaring Moon EX is not only my favorite kind of card coming from this set, but also probably my favorite ancient Pokemon of all the ones that got released, so I'm really excited that it's not only part of the TCG, but also a very good card. We're pairing it alongside Galarian Moltres V, mostly because we want the ability to grab energies and use Energy Switch and be able to power up all of our Radiant Moons, or sorry, Roaring Moons, as fast as possible. This deck is extremely hyper offensive, and in my opinion, if it goes first, you're almost always in an extremely strong position to be able to win the game. Professor Sada's Vitality is really good and can help just accelerate that process. We're using a couple other new cards as well. We're using Ancient Booster Energy Capsule to increase our HP a little bit, removes all special conditions, and that can be really good when paired with Bonnet, because you can make both active Pokemon's active Pokemon poison, but if you have the capsule on, you're not poisoned, so it helps a little bit, tack on a little extra damage, finish things off, and can be really good in that respect. There's a lot of other situations that are really strong that this deck can do and is extremely hyper offensive. So I'm really excited to show it to you guys. Definitely let me know if there's anything else that you would change about this deck, or like a difference you would do with this deck. I didn't build this one personally. It's one that I saw that I thought looked really fun, and I definitely wanted to give it a try. I'll be making a couple edits and making my own version in the future. But if there's any other decks that you guys want to see going forward with Paradox Rift, definitely let me know, and I would be more than happy to do that. Along with that, make sure to subscribe. I'm trying my best in the next couple weeks to increase the production going on, so I'm in works to get better thumbnail art and to be able to improve the video quality. So definitely let me know if there's anything that you feel could be improved on or looked at, and I'll definitely put some effort into making sure that that can happen. I've been working on the resolution issue. I'm not sure why. A lot of the things that I've been doing to try to fix it weren't working, but this should work in this one, so definitely let me know how everything sounds and how everything looks, and if there's any ways that I can improve it. But we'll definitely get into the first game soon, so I'll see you guys. Alright, we're into the game, and I've actually never seen that coin before. That's really cool. How do you get that? If anybody knows in the comment section how to get that, definitely let me know. Because that's pretty sweet. Our opponent won the coin flip, though. I assume they're going to go first. That's pretty common, you know, to always go first. And I'm also going to just assume, and I could be wrong, that we're probably going to end up facing the mirror a lot. Obviously, it's the free deck. It's brand new, and a lot of people are, you know, much like myself, very excited and highly anticipating the new set. So we'll see what we're able to... damn, that was terrible to say. We will see what we are able to do against whatever it is we're up against. Our opening hand isn't the best, but, you know, we'll see what we're able to make work with it. They open the VIP pass. I would love to be able to draw into a VIP. Looks like they're playing Lost Zone with Goodra. That's not too bad for us, honestly, because even if they... That's a pretty underwhelming turn. Wow. Opening the VIP pass is so good there. We really needed that. Definitely kind of got bailed out by God there. The question is this what we want, or do we want Squawk instead? I think we want to have Squawk. We'll attach one. Yeah, I think this is the play. See what else we find. Nothing too usable, if I'm being honest. We'll squawk all this away. Start from the top. Still nothing too great, if we're being completely honest. We'll hold on to one of the bosses for now, I guess. Get rid of the 2 energy. Thin our deck out slightly. But yeah, that was not really too great. Hopefully we're able to get something off the Greninja on our next turn. We're still in an okay position, depending on what they're able to get. Honestly, the Iono is not bad for us. Honestly, it could work out being a bit better. And as long as they're not... Yeah, I was going to say, as long as they don't take off the energy from us here, really, it's not too bad. They can retreat out, but I don't think they have to. And they're not entirely wrong, but they're not entirely right either. Because we don't need these right now. And we might be able to be in a position to really take a lead. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our Moltres. We're about to kind of big brain potentially. So what we'll do, Defiant Wings, grab that, energy switch, put that on, then we can Mew for 2 cards, and that works perfectly. So we'll be able to find our Vitality, get our last energy, put it on, draw another 3, and now we're set up. So we can just go ahead and Frenzy, knock this thing out instantly. So it doesn't really matter its resistances, it doesn't matter how much HP it has, it doesn't matter about anything. We just go ahead and knock it out, which is super good for us. We got 2 more energies, so we'll be able to attach 2 onto Roaring Moon automatically through a Dark Patch and a normal attach for turn. So that's good for us. It doesn't look like they're really in a position to even I was gonna say even KO us on the next turn, but they actually can now, because we're only at 30 HP. So they just have to go into this. But even then, we're pretty much fine. So Beach Court's still up. So we'll actually just go into Greninja. Because we want to be able to Dark Patch. Yeah, so we'll attach for turn. We'll Dark Patch 1 more. We will Defiant Wings. Put that on. I don't think we really need a Super Rod for anything. I mean, I guess we're discarding it anyway, so it doesn't really matter, but we'll do this first. If we have one more... Yeah, we may just want a Vitality first. So we'll go ahead and grab the Luminion. So we'll go ahead. We'll grab this. Then what we just need to make sure we do is use Greninja first. That. Now we can Vitality, get that. And now we're in a pretty strong position. We can throw our stone. We can throw our stone down, make it a little bit easier to find, you know, whatever that extra thing we need is in the future. And now we'll remove Beach Court. Go ahead and save ourselves, you know, from taking the damage that we don't need. We can get the knockout. And now all we need to do, and this is kind of the position that makes this deck, in my opinion, extremely powerful, or extremely, for lack of better words, broken. Now that I just have the boss's orders in hand, or, you know, some way to find it, it really doesn't matter what happens here, because in this case he's, you know, discarding an energy, but I have another Vitality, so I can always just put that back on. That's not really an issue. You'd have to discard a lot more before this becomes an issue. But since I have the boss's orders in hand, any V, EX, anything like that that he plays down, I have the option of just instantly knocking it out, regardless of what it is, what he does to it. And so boss's orders just makes it really, really, really difficult for him to play out the rest of the game. Because if he places an EX or something like that down, okay, I just boss's orders, instantly knock it out, win the game. If he doesn't, okay, I just knock out the Comfey, and on the next turn, you know, I just knock out anything else that he puts up in front. He can't really trap something in the front, for the lack of the fact that, like, I have switch carts and everything like that. So there's really not much they can do here to win. Maybe I'm missing something, but I'm pretty positive there's nothing that he can really do. So we're kind of just waiting on him to pass turn here. I think he's hoping that I just don't have a way to get the energies back, but I do. And we're going to Defiant Wings just to have the energy on board. There's no real point to do any other options, so we'll just go ahead and knock out the Comfey and move on. And there's the other switch cart. So we have everything we need, because even if he, let's say, Ionos us, we go down to one prize, or sorry, we go down to one card in hand, and even if that card is absolute garbage, and he combines that with another Crushing Hammer and knocks off the energy, we can just retreat into this, Defiant Wings, knock out whatever else is left. We also still have the stone, so there's really nothing that I think can go wrong for us here. Not only that, but nothing can go wrong enough that he's able to take another 4 prizes. So we're kind of just waiting out the, you know, this game to end, more or less, is kind of how it feels. One thing that I will say, kind of something I thought I'd talk about while the game's kind of in this standstill state, just kind of waiting for it to end. I actually really appreciate that they made this deck like the free-to-play deck of this season, and I appreciate that they did it similarly in the last set, Obsidian Flame with Charizard. It's really nice to see that they're making the better, more meta-relevant decks, the free-to-play, like, high-access decks. Because I think it brings in a lot of new players. But, yeah, that's the end of Game 1. I'll definitely expand on that point, because it's kind of something I want to talk about a little bit in the game following. But that's the end of Game 1. So, I'll see you guys in the next one. Alright, we're going into the next game. We got Tails, so our opponent, again, is probably going to go first, so, you know, sucks a little bit, not that big of a deal. But yeah, we'll see. They do decide to go first, so we'll find out what deck they're playing. But, yeah, to expand on the point that I was making before, Mew's not the worst thing to open, if we're being honest. Because we kind of already have a hand we can play with a bit. It'll be unfortunate to have to throw away both of our boss's orders. Maybe we can get around having to do that, but I'm not sure. We'll see. But yeah, so to the point I was saying before, one of the things that I really do appreciate with them making, you know, Roaring Moon and Charizard and things like that, the free-to-play decks, is I definitely think it encourages people to get a little bit more into the meta. Try ranked play and stuff like that, because they don't have to work so hard to get a deck that's competitively viable. For example, in the last set with Obsidian Flame, it would have been pretty easy for them to make that Fortress deck the, like, free deck that they gave out to everybody at the start of the season. And made Charizard the one that they put behind the paywall of, like, the premium. But they chose not to do that, and I think that's the right choice, just because the reality is nobody wanted that fucking terrible Fortress deck, right? Like, that thing was admittedly kind of hot garbage. Oh, damn, our Squawk is in the prizes. That's gonna make this a little bit worse, actually. Not too bad, though. We'll get rid of that, get rid of that. It just means that we're gonna have to go into this. And yeah, we're gonna grab a normal research, I think, is what we have to do. But yeah, I think it's for the best that people are given access to these type of decks, because that way they're able to get more exposure to the game, more exposure to the meta, and not have to sit there and kind of like grind endlessly just to get a deck that is competitively viable or like worth playing. As where a lot of like online card games definitely have like a much stronger free-to-play model, or sorry, like pay-to-win model, and I don't think that Pokemon really relies on that too heavily, which I think is really good for a lot of new players. A lot of card games that I've played fall into that issue of not being very new player friendly. Yu-Gi-Oh! Is a great example of this, in my personal opinion. I love Yu-Gi-Oh! And I've played it most of my life. But for a new player who hasn't really played it before, and they decide, okay, you know, tournaments are kind of what I want to do. I want to get more into, like, learning the meta and things like that. Well, you're kind of immediately out of luck, because there's nothing that you can do. You have no real ability to get into the game, because every staple, every meta card, everything is so expensive. Like, what are you supposed to do when just to build an extra deck almost every card is like $50, right? It's like, well, there's probably not much you can do. I'll go ahead and use Vitality here, by the way, just so we can get this going. Draw some cards. That's pretty good. We don't want to play this extra one down yet. We can just retreat this. Go to that. I think Store's going to be better for us to use right here. We're going to be discarding of it anyway. Looks like our Forest Stone is in our prizes too. That sucks a bit, but it's not too bad. We'll go ahead and knock this out. We'll discard the Stadium. Well, that was a weird visual effect. Let's see what we get from the one prize. Oh, perfect. But yeah, the biggest issue with a lot of other card games, and I know I'm kind of rambling about this a little bit, but I'd be interested to see your guys' opinion on the topic and like on the subject, and how you feel about it. But I think Pokemon might have one of the most accessible ways to play. I know that, you know, buying singles and buying packs can be a bit expensive, and you know, collectors and stuff like that can definitely buy a lot of product up pretty quickly. But for the most part, I think they make the game very readily available for players, simply off the fact that, oh, well, that's perfect. I was kind of going to search for that. What do I want to use here? I think I want to do this. Yeah, let's do this first, see what we find. We have a play here, but I'd rather, I wanted to do that specifically for this moment here, because if we were able to find a way to get an energy in the discard pile, we can do the play that I'm doing right here. So what I wanted to do is get an energy in the discard pile, put it on Moltres, use the energy switch, so now we can freely retreat this, put those two energies in the discard pile, go ahead, bring our Roaring Moon back up into play, use the Dark Patch, just put one energy back onto this. Then what we can do is use the Star Alchemy, and what we want to search for is the boss's orders, and this will pretty much guarantee us the game, because we can boss, pull up the Gardevoir, hit for weakness. By discarding the Stadium, it limits more of their options. We hit for weakness, go down to 3 prizes, and pretty much win the game. I don't think there's anything they can do to win from this point. This deck's just so versatile that you're just always going to stay a step ahead for the most part. But yeah, that's kind of my thing to close out the point. Like, Magic and all these other card games are so hard to really enter a competitive level with, is where Pokemon has things like the League Battle Decks for Miraidon coming out, and all these other things that really encourage people to go to their local leagues and actually attempt to play at a higher level, because it makes it actually accessible. Budget decks are viable, and even decks like this that are more expensive or definitely harder to play, or maybe a little bit harder to obtain, they put tons of products out. So like, there's going to be a promo, like Roaring Moon is going to be a promo in a package, making it more accessible even further than it already is. They release a lot of different rarities, so I think it's really good that they do this and makes like the game much more accessible. But that's something that I kind of wanted to talk about a little bit. Especially on like slower games, I thought we'd have a little bit, you know, small discussions here and there. So definitely know what you kind of think about the discussion piece, but also your opinions on it. How accessible do you feel the game is in comparison to other games, or is there another game that you think is more accessible that I'm just not really aware of? But definitely let me know. But that's gonna be it, guys. I think you know, 2 games, 2 fun ones. Maybe not the most exciting gameplay, but it really, in my opinion, shows off just how powerful this deck can be. So yeah, make sure to like and subscribe if you know, like the content. I'd really appreciate it. Be on the lookout. Like I said in the intro, I'm working on changing up the production a little bit, so definitely know, or, you know, definitely let me know what you guys think of this setup, if it's better or worse, or what, you know, could be adjusted. And be on the lookout. I'm going to be adjusting thumbnails in the future, working with somebody to kind of get those up to a little bit of a better quality. And, you know, as always, any decks that you want me to play, definitely let me know. But yeah, guys, I appreciate it a lot. Thank you so much, and hope to see you in the next one. Peace.